So, hi everybody, and welcome to the 46th episode of the GrowCast Show. My name is Matthias, and actually I'm the host for today. And today we have a very special guest with us. His name is Naveen Jonathan. He's actually a division director at Huttons, and he's also a trainer, a Huttons trainer, also known as a HDB Pundit. Yeah, so we are glad to have him here to share his expertise with us today. And Naveen, how are you feeling today?
Hi, Matt. Feeling very awake. I just had my coffee. So, good to go, and thank you very much for having me.
That's great. We're glad to have you here. So let's get into the first question for today for you. And what does being better than normal mean to you?
Better than normal means one step ahead, I believe so. Because being normal is just being basic, and going with the flow. So I believe that better than normal, to me, means that you are one step ahead of the rest.
So Naveen, what makes you better than normal?
I actually really love spending time with my clients. Most importantly, to find out their needs and their wants. And I want to make sure that my proposal meets their purpose of this transaction. It's just not about the transaction, but more about why they're doing it. And giving them a smooth journey to the end point. And I'm also a company trainer, so I take pride in training our agents and raising the standards.
So good, listening to their needs and wants. And why do you feel sales suit you as a career?
Sales actually started very early on when I was younger because my parents are in the retail business selling flowers. So I was born into sales, like you can say. And as early as 6 years old, I was already in the shop front, meeting customers, and doing retail business. And doing the sales is like something like a second nature to me, right? So when I thought about doing anything else, I tried engineering, I tried construction, but then I ended up coming back to sales. It's like a calling.
Okay. Why sell real estate in particular?
Okay, actually, to be honest, I came to real estate because I was told that property agents make a decent amount of money. And I wanted to get married and settle down. So from my construction business, I came into real estate part-time to try out and see how it works. Right. And then what happened was magical. And I really got a hang of it. And I felt that this is what I really want to do. And from then on, no turning back.
No turning back now. And what do you hope to, or what do you want to achieve through this industry?
Through real estate, I want to help 1,000 families. That's my aim, right? To upgrade their lifestyle and their property portfolio through property investment, and also help them with portfolio restructuring or even retirement planning, right? And most of my clients are actually HDB upgraders who are, selling their first home and thinking what's the next step. So I want to help such families to make the right move.
Wow, that's a very noble cause. And how long have you been in the industry, and what's your track record?
I've been in the industry since 2016, so that's about 8 years, and I've transacted about 200 to 300 units so far.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's a wonderful record. Sorry, just repeat. Who or what is your inspiration that keeps you going?
Inspiration, I think the first person who inspires me the most is my wife. We have been together for 14 years. So she actually met me when I was studying, and then she pushed through when I was in NS and when we were working, right? So we have actually been together through all the lows and the highs, and of course we are in a much better place now, moving towards the best in our life. And I have two sons, two very young, small sons who are 3 years old and turning 1 soon, the second one. So they are my daily reminder of why I'm doing this, and that at the end of the day, you will all be worth it.
Wow, so family is really the key over here to keep you going.
Also want to prove to myself, because I always feel that I'm not doing enough. So I want to prove to myself that I can be better every day.
Wow. What has changed in the market since you joined the real estate industry in 2016?
I think there are two things that actually really changed a lot for the past 8 years. Number one, I would say the client's expectation has become much higher.
Right.
I think their needs and wants have evolved a lot in the past 8 years. And the other big thing, right, is technology. Technology has a big impact on the real estate industry or any industry, right? So technology has bring us to a point where buying or selling a property could be done online with a few clicks.
Yeah.
That has actually impacted agents, as in we have to be better and have a very high standard, because we are, we are a very competitive industry, and technology is, in place now. So I think it's a good thing because it challenges the agents.
Do you feel the real estate industry has become easier or harder since you started?
I would say definitely harder, and much harder actually. Like I mentioned, right? So the client's expectations have changed. the standard of agents are much higher now. Also, like the cost of running this business has at least doubled or more, right? And you see, property job, right, or rather this business, right, is actually a very lonely job if you do it as a lone ranger. And I've done that before, and it's not a very good place to be at. So I know how it feels, and there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and depression, and all this. But of course, that is because I was doing alone and I have not enough support.
Right.
So I would say the industry is hard, but a very rewarding one.
Right.
So with the correct support, the correct system in place, and good cohesion with teammates, right, you'll be able to succeed in this industry for sure.
So the support is important.
Yes.
And why do you take up the role as your company HDB trainer when agents don't normally take up this role?
Okay, so agents don't normally take up the role because it is very time consuming. When on stage, if you are doing some training, right, you have to really say the correct things. Most importantly, you must deliver in a manner that everybody in the audience can understand. So it's a tough job.
Okay.
But I think I do it because I see it as a way for me to relearn and also to stay relevant in the market, which is, I think, very important because the market is real estate market is constantly changing. So while I'm training, I stay relevant. Plus, I also am one up, like I said. And I believe that consumers are expecting agents to have a very high standard of professionalism.
Right.
And also, I want to make sure that our agents and advise the clients correctly and also uphold the standards very high.
That's wonderful. And I guess the person who really learns the most is the trainer himself.
Definitely.
So for yourself, Naveen, why do you want to become a professional speaker?
Okay, so this also started off very early when I was a younger days, right? In primary school, I used to do stage dramas. So when my peers were having the need to overcome stage fright, I never had stage fright before. And I actually, shamelessly to say, I actually like to be on the limelight. So this has been something has been brewing in me for a long time. And after training in the company, it has given me a more motivation and confidence to actually become a trainer. And I want to reach the masses faster and more efficiently. So it's better than, doing one-to-one. That's one angle. That's one thing. And then I also want to help real estate agents across the globe to be a better version of themselves and to accept their full potential, and become a totally new person within a stipulated period of time.
How do you feel that you being a professional speaker will help your clients?
Okay, being a professional speaker, right, on stage, right, whatever you say, whatever you deliver has to be accurate. And it's very fact-based, right? So similarly, when I'm talking to a client, whatever I share with them or want to, put across also have to be factual and have to be delivered in a correct manner that my clients can understand. So I think it's very similar. When I'm on stage speaking, right, all my audience are also like my clients who are listening to what I'm saying. So I think it's very correlated.
Right, wonderful. And why are you building a team of real estate agents?
So real estate business is very inclusive. Everybody has a part to play in the industry, right? And this industry, right, has really helped me to stabilize my life. Like I mentioned, get married, get my first house, start my family. So all this was only possible because of real estate industry. So I want to help other agents who want to, stabilize their life, change their lives, have a career change, or want to start up a business, come in and have the correct support and the correct system to succeed.
That's great that you're building up a team. What kind of real estate agents are you looking for?
The kind of real estate agents I'm looking for, right, most importantly, need to be self-starter. They need to take the initiative to actually move and do things, right? And whoever who needs a proven system and a flow, a guidance, right, we are here to help.
So on the topic of system, why do you say that your system is proven and will help anyone?
The first thing is I'm the product of a system. So if I can, plug and play the whole system, regardless of whether you are female, male, young, old, new in the industry or very seasoned agent, the system that we work on is very easy to implement. So the most important thing, right, is that whoever needs help needs to turn up, needs to learn and apply. And of course, the most important word being apply. And this system will really deliver.
Right, that's great. Having an open mind. And maybe for yourself, Naveen, who do you consider as HDB upgraders?
HDB upgraders, right? Mostly people will say HDB upgraders are those who sell HDB and then go to a condo. But actually for myself, I think it really depends. And there are different ways to looking at it. So of course, the common ones are those clients who are selling their HDB for the first or second time and then moving to a condo, right? Or a private property. To me, if you sell a bigger sized HDB and buy a smaller sized HDB without any loan, it's considered upgrade to me because you are debt free, right? So whenever you are debt free, you always have a more peace in mind. You're more easy, and I feel that is an upgrade. The other way to look at it is you can actually sell a 4-room flat, for example, and buy a 4-room flat as well without loan. It's also considered an upgrade to me. And retirement planning, I also consider is upgrade because you actually planning. This retirement planning will help you to have a more easy and relaxed life, which is also considered upgrade to me.
That's a great definition of upgrade of a HDB upgrader.
Yeah.
What should a HDB seller look out for if they want to sell their unit at a high price?
Okay, so I'll give you 3 steps they can take now to sell the property better. Okay, number 1 is you need to market the property at the correct timing. You know that in Singapore real estate, right, there is seasonal periods of highs and lows. So the time that you start marketing the property is very important. Number 2 would be you do not make the unit a charity unit in the sense, right, that you have to market in a way that it doesn't help your neighbors sell before you. Okay, and number 3, you actually need to showcase your home in a much better manner. So these are 3 simple steps that we usually take when we're selling a property. And of course, there are much more. And I've written a simple guidebook for the sellers where I've explained more in detail with all the examples.
What is the number 1 most important part of the HDB upgrading process?
Usually everybody will say it's the selling price lah. But actually, right, it's not. From all my experiences working with HDB upgraders and the surveys that I've done with all my sellers, right, the most number 1 important factor that they are actually concerned about is the timeline. Because you see, most of my clients who are HDB upgraders are young families like mine. So I actually resonate with their thoughts and their concerns in the sense that they want to actually move from this current home to the next home without having to rent out elsewhere in between. So after you're selling your current property, right, there are a lot of scenarios where you will need to rent out from a relative, friend, or even get a full rental unit outside and before moving to the next property. So this is the most important, most concerning factor, which is timeline. So what I do is that depending on the client's portfolio or the profile, then I'll assess whether they are suitable for my OMG framework. Right? So OMG stands for one move guarantee. This is something that I propose to my clients and I promise my clients. If they're suitable, I will tell them that I'll make sure you move from this home to the next home immediately or without any delay in between. That will make it easier for you to move all your stuff, move your family, your children, be much more easier that way.
So you really help them with a smooth transition. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think about buyers doing the purchase themselves using like DIY portals?
It is definitely possible. It has become much easier to do it themselves for sure. Because you can just log in to the HDB flat portal and then follow the steps there to buy a property. But I believe that that's not all to buying a property, right? So there are many other factors. For example, if you're looking at a property, do you know whether this property is in the correct stack? Because every block has different stacks. So you will need to know which is the correct stack to buy. You will need to know which is the correct facing. And you need to know whether this property is a star buy. So there are certain factors to determining whether this is a star buy, right? And also how to go about the whole process seamlessly without any hiccups, right? There are a lot of factors involved. So I think what I did was to actually write another book, which is the buyer's guidebook, and give them some examples and some guidelines on how to go through this.
So having a good framework in place really helps your buyers.
Definitely.
Can one buy multiple properties without paying the ABSD in Singapore?
The short and fast answer is yes, you can. The clients that I've helped to do this usually buy 1 or 2 properties in Singapore, and then we buy like industrial or commercial properties for the next. And the more popular option now is buying foreign properties like Dubai. Okay. I've just recently started selling Dubai properties and their market is doing very well. And there's no ABSD, sales tax, capital gain tax, buyer stamp duty or anything involved. So it is possible. You can also consider other countries like UK, Australia, Malaysia, our neighbor, and also Thailand. So it is possible to buy multiple properties. I just need to do the calculations correctly and plan ahead.
Great insight. If I sell high now, does that mean also buying high?
I think you asked the question because it's a saying, like we have this saying in real estate where you sell high, buy high, sell low, buy low. I would say that it depends on which property segment you're going to sell, and which property segment you are selling and which property segment you are buying. If, for example, I helped one of my clients recently sell a 5-room flat in Marsiling. Right? It's a HDB 5-room flat. And then what I did first was to sell the property the highest in the cluster at that point of time. And then we went on to buy a resale EC, which is just MOP, which means the EC is just 5 years old, right? So the cash proceeds from here was just nice to pay the down payment for the resale EC. And I also was able to negotiate that price for the resale EC cheaper than the neighbor who just bought recently as well. So you see, from selling at the highest point in the HDB segment, we were able to buy resale EC at a lower PSF, which means, we actually debunked the whole sell high, buy high portion. And with the cash proceeds that we used for buying the EC, right, there was still some surplus balance. Using that to plan for them and, probably get a Dubai property or a foreign property to flip and, multiply their portfolio.
That's great. Your client must be really thankful for you. Is it possible to buy HDB resale with no or low COV in today's market?
I don't think it's impossible, but in the current market, right, because the prices are quite high, as you can see, the articles coming out with all the more than $1 million properties coming out. So naturally, everybody will feel that the COV is very high. And when there's a lot of demand, right, naturally the sellers will ask for higher COV as well. But for myself, I think it is really possible, like how I recently helped one of my clients in Woodlands to get a property. When we went for viewing, right, there were like 22 buyers in the same house, camping up, looking at the units, so it's pushing up the demand and also making my client feel like anxious to think like, I like the house, but how am I going to get it with so much of competition, so many buyers, right? So what we do is we go in a different angle to the seller, because as a person who have already served sellers for past 8 years, I know what the seller needs and the seller wants, and also know how the seller agent will direct this whole flow, right? So I'm able to actually get a unit for my buyer without paying any COH at all. And this has been my track record for the past few months. For the past 5 to 6 transactions, I have not gotten any COV so far. And I also, in the current market, right, we can find good units in any market, right? It's more important to know how to find the good deals. Like how I helped one of my clients to sell their EA in Bukit Panjang, and then he wanted to move to a better location, like upgrading in the sense that we're selling the EA and buying a 4-room with no loan. And we bought a 4-room in Ang Mo Kio for, I think, $50,000 below valuation. Right? So it was just about finding the correct property and hunting the good deals. Right? That's more important, I guess.
That's great. You're out there really helping your clients to look for all the best deals available.
Right.
And I guess, do you think moving from a HDB directly to a condo makes sense for people in their 30s and in their 40s?
The 30s and the 40s are the best age to actually do this upgrading, because you are working and you are planning to work for the next 10, 20 years, 30 years, so you have a good time horizon. And this is very common. Those HDB upgraders that I meet on a weekly basis, right, are in this age group, right? So I recently actually helped one of my clients who are in the late 30s. We sold his 3-room HDB flat in Bukit Batok.
Okay.
And he wanted to actually get a bigger space and also change the lifestyle for his family, his growing family. He has 3 kids, and he wanted to, get a place with good amenities. So we bought him a 3-bedder condo in Bukit Batok. It's a full-fledged condo with all the amenities. And from the cash proceeds from the sales of the 3-room Bukit Batok unit, right, we actually used that amount to do a lot of calculation, a lot of planning ahead. And then we used it to pay the down payment for the 3-bedroom in Bukit Batok. And he actually had a surplus balance for the renovation. So basically, right, he didn't touch his savings at all. And he was able to go from a 3-room HDB flat to a 3-bedder condo. And I would say it's a big upgrade for the family and for his kids as well.
Wow, that's such a good upgrade for your client, even having surplus for his renovation. Yes. EC versus private condo, which is better?
I wouldn't say which is better, but I would say both are actually very good options because they are good in their own ways. You see, so the most important point is what the client needs, or what is the purpose of the client wanting to buy a EC or a private condo, full private condo. And as we know that EC is also going to be a private condo in future, it's just that it takes a longer horizon. So it depends on the client whether they can actually hold the property longer, and what is the down payment portion that they already have readily. And these are the things that we will usually calculate and check. And most of the time I will help my clients to go for the EC route,
okay,
brand new or resale EC, because the resale EC and brand new EC, right, gives the maximum capital appreciation, and that will really change the whole portfolio of this client. As in, after they sell this EC, right, they can have more options to move to. So usually I'll go with the EC and the MOP EC route. But private condo route, why there's a big difference is because of the pricing, and that also correlates to the down payment. So depending on the down payment amount that is available for you, right, then we will do the planning accordingly.
Okay. With so much demand in the resale market, where there are like 20 to 30 buyers seeing one unit, how confident are you to clinch the deal for your buyer?
I would say super confident because I've been doing that for the past 8 years, I would say. And actually recently, if you see from COVID onwards, right, the demand has been quite high. Right after COVID, the demand spiked a lot, and then the demand has been quite standard for a long time. And especially if you're talking about 4-room flats, there's very, very high demand for 4-room flats in Singapore. And recently, I've helped my buyers. I say Woodlands again because at this moment, right, Woodlands demand is really crazy over the roof. We are seeing like 50 buyers in one weekend in a house, queuing up all the way to the lift lobby to see this particular house, right? So in this kind of scenario, how I will approach, right, with my clients is that because I know the psychology of the sellers, I know what the seller agent is going to say. As in, I anticipate their next move. I'll be able to actually plan ahead. I can inform my client or my buyer, okay, this is going to happen. We are going to give an offer at this point, and then this is what the buyer or the seller is going to tell you. And the seller agent is going to convey the message to us. So this is our next move. So I actually plan 2 or 3 steps ahead. And because of that, right, I will be able to give a better offer to the seller agent. Or in recent times, soon you will be seeing sellers selling the property directly. Like they have already started listing on the listing portal, HDB listing portal, right? So I've served sellers for a long time. I know what they want. Sellers usually want a higher price, but they always have a bigger purpose. It might be because they want to, move nearer to a children's school. They want to move nearer to their parents. There are a lot of needs. Every home has a backstory, and there's always a reason why they sell. So if I can find out what the need and what the story is, I'll be able to actually clinch the deal faster than any direct buyer who walks into the house. So that's what I've been doing for all the while.
Very insightful, helping your clients to get the best deals again. What goals do you have for yourself as a professional speaker, Naveen?
As a professional speaker, my aim is to actually speak to 10,000 audience at one time. And I think that will really challenge me, and that will help me to level up my game. And I also want to speak around the globe with more property agents, and learn from them, because all of us are in the same industry but in different regions, right? So our practices will be a bit different. So I think that will be a good way for me to learn.
Wonderful. Tell us about the book, Buyer Negotiation Guidebook, and who is it for?
Okay, like the title says, right, it's for any buyer who's planning to actually go and buy themselves. I have a lot of questions posted to me online on all the social media portal. And when I'm selling a property and I get DIY buyers walking in, right, and I always hear them more than often say the wrong stuff that I don't need to know as a seller agent. And then after a while, I thought, why not come up with a guidebook to tell these buyers how to buy better, how to do the negotiation better. You see, it is very easy to find the unit online, or very easy to find a property. We have a lot of portals to do that. The next step is to arrange a viewing, which is also quite easy. What buyers find it difficult or find it challenging is the negotiation part. So I have break down in this book how to do the negotiation, what to say, what not to say. And there are a lot of information, right, that is actually very confidential to you only. And at what point can you reveal this information to the seller or the seller's agent? So I've already put in all this in the book. I've condensed all my knowledge of negotiating for my buyers for the past 8 years in this book.
I'm sure that this book will be very helpful for the buyers out there. Tell us a little bit about the book, Sell Your HDB at a Shook Price. And who is it for?
Okay, so it's for anybody who wants to sell your house at a shock price. So this is like a tagline that I usually use, right? Because shock price, in other words, just mean highest price. And I feel that there is a process to any selling of any home. In this book, I've actually put in 5 to 6 pointers, steps to take to sell your property better. And there is a system to deploy to sell this property, right? And I've been using, this is actually my system. This is what I've been using, the exact steps to help my sellers sell at a shock price. So I actually put it down in a book because I was getting a lot of questions from my friends. The HDB upgrades that I meet, they always ask me, what is the first step, Naveen? What should I do next? And how should I, start this whole process? if I'm planning early. Then since I get a question so often, I wrote a book out of it.
I guess that's going to be very helpful again. So Naveen, why are you conducting free educational webinars for the public? And what will you be sharing?
Okay, so these webinars, right, which I'll be doing very regularly from now on, is actually to help anybody who wants to learn about the HDB market. Like, as you know, I'm also called HDB Pundit. So everything to do with HDB will be included in this webinar. I'll be sharing about HFE process, what is the resale listing portal process, like what to take note of, how to actually conduct viewings. And when you are going through a process of selling a property, right, there's a lot of other factors involved, like your financial calculations, what is the accrued interest, CPF usage for this house, what is the financial status of this house. There's a lot of other factors are involved apart from just marketing the property, like put the photo up and then just get viewers in. There's just one part of it. So I'm going to cover all of this, and I hope that I can reach out to the masses and help them to get a better picture on how to move in this HDB market.
Do you have plans to give professional keynotes overseas out of Singapore? If yes, where?
Definitely. I would like to speak in Dubai. And I say Dubai again because I just started selling Dubai properties, and I went down to, learn about them. And I was very fascinated about how fast their real estate industry is booming, how their construction industry is, correlated to the industry and booming. And also the kind of economy and the kind of infrastructure they have is something that I admire, and the speed and the pace they are going in. So I would like to speak in Dubai. I also would like to speak in Australia, London, Malaysia. These are places where my company is also selling, and I'm also learning about them. And like I mentioned before, I want to learn from the estate agents there and how they work. For example, right, in Dubai, all the agents that I've met always wear a three-piece suit.
Okay.
They're always very polished and very, very up. And I think that kind of standard is something that we can borrow and use in our industry to become better.
Wonderful. Personal question. What is your goals for your family and housing?
Okay, so for family, definitely it will be to spend more time with them. I have two children, two sons who are very young. So I really want to use this time to grow up with them. And also feel like a child with them, enjoy the memories and moments, and go for more holidays with them. I would want to at least go for 4 holidays a year with them. That's for family. For housing, I always aspire to end up in a semi-D, right? So there's only like 73,000 plus landed properties in Singapore. It's like a niche market, and it's like the epitome of housing. So I always want to reach that level. Plus, I love big houses, and I'm always amazed by all landed properties. So that will be my end goal.
I'm sure your family is very supportive of you getting there. Why do you think it's a good idea to invest in Dubai at this moment?
Yeah, so Dubai at this moment is very welcoming. They've changed a lot of regulations to welcome foreign investors. There are a lot of expats actually moving to Dubai currently. To give you in perspective, right, actually 60% of Dubai people right now are actually expats who have moved to Dubai to set up their business, move their family, and start a life in Dubai. And because of that, the infrastructure is in place. The government actually take up more responsibilities to cater to these needs, right? And in that manner, if you realize, right, the whole globe, all the property investors are actually jumping on this chance where there's demand for housing, there's demand for rental, and investing in Dubai currently. And it's like the talk of the town now, right, Dubai. And the best part in comparison, right, is there's no ABSD, there's no buyer stamp duty, there's no capital gain tax, there's no, we don't talk about high income tax. And the property pricing, the entry pricing to a Dubai market now is actually 200,000 to 300,000 Singapore dollars, which in comparison, right, you can't really find good units in Singapore itself. So if you want to go make an investment in Dubai, I think the right time is right now. And also, in Dubai, foreigners can actually own land, and they can own villas and townhouses for about 500 to 600, 700,000 dollars, which is like our HDB pricing, right? Yeah. So in comparison, that's how it is, lah. And a lot of investors are putting money in Dubai because there's always a need for rental, long term or short term, like Airbnb, holiday homes. The demand is very high.
And on this topic of Dubai, is it safe to invest in Dubai?
Okay, yeah, this is a very frequent question that I get as well. I would say that it's safe to invest in Dubai because their regulations for property market is very similar to Singapore actually, right? So we have CEA in Singapore, they have RERA, RERA. And like how SLA and URA are governing our properties here as well, they have Dubai Land Authority. So it's very similar. If you realize, right, they always adopt similar practices to make it safer for everyone to invest in Dubai. Plus, if you have heard about UBS Real Estate Bubble Index, right, Singapore is actually on the 19th rank and Dubai is on the 23rd rank, which means at this moment it seems like Dubai is a safer option if you compare to Singapore. So that's one reason. And the other reason is that the crime rates are very low. It's one of the top 10 safer cities in the world. So when you put in money into Dubai, I would say it's a safe option for now.
Thank you very much, Naveen, for sharing his insight with us today and answering all these questions on property matters. And that, my friends, is a wrap for the episode 46 of the GrowCast Show. Thank you and see you again in the next episode 47.